We would like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto
Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Bashem, Kakadash.
double honor unto the apostles and the elders of DMS, who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his other brothers, and peace and blessing and salutation to the hopeful lake out there pushing his word and peace and his spirit across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bashem outside, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful lake, the believers, the listeners, whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem outside. All right, so we're coming, with another lesson live stream, by the lake. All right, going into the week of the new moon, and what we're going to get into today, dealing with, the mindset, okay, of this society. This is a queendom, and the elite. All right, going to the elite banking family, the other ruling families of Esau, Edom. They run the earth through a patriarch. All right, but they have manipulated society to run off a matriarch. Okay, especially within, the culture of our people, man, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man, where you have all these women-led households, and we're living in the result of households led by women. Like, when you go into a lot of complaints about this current society, it goes back to Eve and the serpent, you know, because this is the product, okay, of feminism, which is given to the woman by Esau Edom. Okay, he empowered, all right, the woman, and incentivized the woman, especially of our people, to what? Raise children by themselves, man. And even if a woman has good intentions, she's not equipped, okay, with the ability to raise children by herself and be the head of a household, man. No shot to women, which you gonna, get into these things, but we're living in the results of it, man. Yeah, because within a woman's spirit is what? Nurture. Yep. Okay, she doesn't bring disciplinary actions because that's not part of her DNA. Yep. Right? Got you, bro. Genesis 3 and 6. For when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, yep, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired, yep, to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. And the fruit goes into the doctrine, you know, going into, all right, this alternative way outside the way that was set up from the beginning, the order. Adam was given that breath, okay, and he started to what? Put everything in order. When it said he was going to name the animals, well, that was just one of the things that he was given to do. Because you go into, he was keep the words to Mark in Genesis 2 and I think it's 15. You go into that word keep, it means to protect and preserve life. So Adam, all right, was an overseer over the earth, from people to animals to the ecosystem. He was given charge, all right, and given that breath, that wisdom to order the earth, okay? And what happened, the serpent came to Eve, and she broke away from her order, and that began the downfall. And we see the same thing happen, all right, in this time, from the 60s until now. What did you see? A big downfall in our people because the woman, all right, was removed from order. Because if I can just say, because since you're saying that, you can only imagine over a process of time, Eve went to Adam. Yep. So I think everything needs to be 50-50. Yep. Within a product of what? Yep. Feminism. Yep. Feminism. You know what I'm saying? So it only makes sense. Nothing is new today that they weren't doing last year. Yep. Or in the ancient time. Everything comes back on earth through the process of reincarnation. Right? Back on you, man. You got that, you got to start there, man. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 9. Yep. For the blessings of the Father established the house of children. The blessing of the Father established the house of children. Because when you go into power, power is transferred to men. Okay? Power is never transferred to women. So through the man, a house, all right, Lord begins houses with men. Going back to the house of David. That's a man. Go ahead. Genesis 49 and 1. Yep. And Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. Yep. So through Jacob, he was able to give a prophecy of what would happen to his sons. And going back to how through the blessing of the Father, a house is established, because what do men do? They have sons and daughters, and they train their sons there, and then they marry off their daughters, The strong houses to strengthen the house. You see? That's how your houses become great, okay? Through the blessings of men, okay? A woman, even like a woman that's a queen, guess what? If you a man and you have a woman that's an heir, we didn't do queen. Just go back to how the heathen do it, and how Drake was doing it back in the medieval times, those Christian monarchs. Okay, but if you a man and you have a queen as your heir, a woman as your heir, that's the end of your line. Because whoever she marries, that's going to be another man's house. Right. You know? Yeah. So power is transferred through men. It's never transferred through women. You never seen a dynasty of queens. Right. Okay? There's only been dynasty of male heirs, man. And that's just how the Lord got it set up. And women have a beautiful order because just like Lysol. Lysol good for cleaning, but you can't digest it. No, you can't digest it. So a woman have a use, but when she been used outside of order, now it becomes toxic. Right. There's certain things that you can use, but if you use in the wrong way, it becomes toxic. So Esau manipulated the woman to start operating out of her purpose, and that created this toxic feminism that we have today. And toxic means what? Poison. Yep. So look how the family unit has been poisoned. Yep. Based on the mindset and the personality of Eve, man. Yep.
Poison cause things to wither away, man.
And die.
And die. And that's symbolic of the nation of Israel when it comes to the household, man. By women being pretty much engrafted into a matriarch. You know what I'm saying? Esau putting them as the head of the house, man. We have seen the plenishing of the household of the nation of Israel, man. And at this point in this day and time, the end result, man, is going to be catastrophic, man, because now we see the results of how our children are. The young boys are feminists. The young girls are bold and masculine. You know what I'm saying? The women who raise them are delusional. And it's a downhill road or spiraling out of control, man. Because why? Because the foundation has been removed from their household, man. Because what a woman gonna do when her young son turns into a young man, 15, 16, 17, 18 years old? He starts feeling himself, man. And the woman is the weaker vessel. So how is she gonna control him? She's not. She's gonna allow him to do whatever he want to do. He's gonna come extra feminine. He's gonna be an extra idiot, and he's gonna end up putting somebody to death, getting put to death because of what? He's an emotional creature, man. He's not a man of logic. He's not a man at all. Okay, he's a product of a matriarch, man. That's why when the son turns 12, 13, he done. Now that's when that man come. That's when that man come involved. Really. Yep. That's what he gonna show him how to stroke it. Like, you do this, do this. And you got lines, so when he get big, 13 years old. Nothing. That's nothing. You know what I'm saying? You can't do no with him. But a man would show another man how to
it's pretty like a man supposed to start what they call apprenticeship with his mom. Yeah. Supposed to look that word up, apprenticeship.
Apprenticeship.
Yeah, like you really like that whole concept of apprenticeship is really how the son supposed to come after his father. Because you looking Apostle Paul, his father was a tent maker. And what was Apostle Paul perfect? A tent maker. And his father was a Pharisee. Joseph was a carpenter. Yep. Howard Shaw profession was a carpenter. Yep. And then you think about feminism and you associate that with the crime within Jake's society. That's the reason why niggas is blowing each other away. They're not solution driven because of feminism. And this shit is so strong. You can have a Jake that was reared by his mom, father outside the home, never had any contact with his son. So once this man becomes an adult, he marries a woman, and now he's raising his kids. But guess what? His personality trait still goes back to what? Feminism. Although he's in the household, because he was reared by his mom. So you see these very broads with big beards and things of that nature, but they're very feminine or very emotional because of what? They came from the household with a single parent household being reared by their mother. Then it usually be a group of finish that real quick. But the curse of the mother root out foundation. The curse of the mother root out foundation. And you look at so-called nigga culture, it has no foundation. Feminism. Feminism, it has no foundation. There's no standards, right. There's no structure, there's no order. It's pretty much just a community of individuals, and it's random going for what you know. Everybody's operating off low nature, man. Yeah. There's no reasoning, there's no logic. Like you can't explain, like why are you niggas killing each other? If you just ain't no building going on, ain't no enterprise, you know what I'm saying? Like what are you doing?
Because he live on this block. That's their best logical answer, man. Yeah.
And then another thing, like the women, the fathers they select, here it is, you go get the street nigga it is, and then you have a son, but then you telling the son not to be a street nigga. So goddamn, what kind of confusion is that?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So you go get with the most street nigga it is and have children, but then you don't want your son to. Well, goddamn, if I'm breeding dog, I got a pit bull.
Right.
What am I breed with?
Pit bull.
So if I breed with a goddamn German Shepherd, then be mad that it's a mutt, then goddamn.
Who fought him?
No, then it'd be a surprise. It'd be like they'd be surprised when the nigga turn out like,
right.
Damn, look at it there. Look at the stock he come
this
from.
Is no pedigree.
Yeah. Look at the stock this nigga come from.
Right.
You got that, bro? That song. Yeah, get that song up here. Then we'll get that print. Okay.
This song, 113, and 9. Yeah. He make a buried woman keep the house.
Yep.
To be a joyful mother of children.
Can I add something? Because when you think about the union of a man and a woman, the man brings what? Disciplinary. Yep. He's a disciplinary. He brings discipline, right? Yep. Structure. Yep. A woman brings what? She's the comfort, your comforter, ultra or nurturer. Yep. So that's how you balance each other out. Yeah. Yep. You know what I'm saying? That's the balance of it. But you have to have the discipline before the nurturing, man. Yep. You got to. Yep. Back on you, bro.
Be joyful mother of children. Praise ye Yahweh Bashaman.
Hey, so he said he made the woman to be, all right, keep for the house, the joyful mother of children. And keep for the house, that's the whole job. Right. Wife is a whole career. Esau tricked you, that's all you do, like this, that feminism shit, like that's what he came with. Oh, that's all you are, as a cook and a slave. But then he tricked you, all right, out of being a homemaker to become slave for his industry, man. Yeah. Meanwhile, his wife is at home, homemaker. There's no Edomite that is a sexy red. Yep. You see, it's no Edomite that's a look in. Yep. It's only when it comes to gay. Yep. Hispanic tribe and so-called Negro tribe. Yep.
When you go in the Proverbs 31st chapter, man, it's that passage, the header is the word, I think, pretty much saying the qualities of a woman, man. And the traits that a woman's supposed to have is not a bad thing, man. Okay, because you're doing things for your husband that builds your enterprise. That and it benefits you. You take care of your children. You know what I'm saying? You do it with the merchants. There's a lot of jobs that come with it, but it's beneficial. And you get praise for that. But see, women feel like when they doing something for their man and husband, that it's some kind of burden. Like the brother just saying, Esau make it like that you're being a slave unto your man. But in actuality, man, you're being what you are, a helpmeet, an asset, a benefit.
Which is a slave. Which is a servant. In a good way, though.
In a good way. You ain't no house, nigga. You reap benefits. Right. Okay? The woman, you gonna have service. You're gonna have slaves.
Right.
It's not. But see, but Esau, when he turns everything upside down, man. He makes it look like it's a degrading position to be in. Yep. But at the same time, like brother say, but then you take your ass to work for him.
Yeah. Exactly. He's giving you orders.
Complain about it.
Come home and complain about your coworker. Right. You tell you about this bitch penis. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what about it? Goddamn.
If you get the house, you won't have to worry about it.
You have to worry about that.
Yep. Supervise, eating my supervise.
Dennis and Karen and all them hoes.
Yeah, because they quit to say, oh, if husband tell me do something, you're not my dad. You're not it. Daddy Esau.
Oh, shit.
And do everything Daddy say though. Yeah. But when a man say, can you do this for me? Can you do this for me? Yeah. I'm not your daddy.
Right.
Watch in the video, this lady basically he lost his job. That's it. He lost his job. And basically, she told him. He said, well, I gotta pay you back. She said, if I pay the rent, you're gonna pay me back.
Hey, you should live here.
Pay you back.
Yeah.
She said, you gonna pay me back. So she asked another guy.
Huh?
His friend.
As a friend.
Yeah.
Zero respect.
Yeah.
They're married.
The doctor, look, but see, it's the love and hip hop shit.
Yeah.
No, you have an executive producer by the name of Mona Scott. She puts all this filth out, but guess what? When it comes to her household, she stated per Mano that basically her nor her husband even watch that shit, and their kids they're not allowed to watch that shit. But meanwhile, you got all these different shows, Love and Hip Hop LA, Miami, and so on and so forth. But meanwhile, you putting out this filth, but you're not basically adhering to what you're publishing.
They know.
Hypocrites, man. Hypocrisy.
They making money off that shit too.
Right.
Making tons of money off of it.
A lot of people benefit off the curse, capitalize off the curse.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's why when you go to the parable of Lazarus, how the dogs came and licked his wound.
Yeah. But even when David and son, what Psalm 53, about let that table be a snare to them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 68, you like the water. Yeah, man. So these shows you're talking about, them Well, you know, the different shows and shit, you know, like people taking that and running with it as if that's the behavior that you're supposed to have, man, and that mindset of these women, man. The Lord is setting you women up, man, to be destroyed, man. Because we had went into it last week, man. All right, 2/3 shall be cut off and die. And the ratio of women when it comes to men in America is like what, 15-1, something like that. You know, it's so that clearly shows you that it's going to be a lot of women amongst the nation of Israel who are going to be put to death, man.
Nigga 9 and 4. Nigga 9 and 4.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's say maid,
Oh,
young, daughter.
Yeah.
Damsel. Yeah. So, hey, the Lord is showing that you women, y'all, because even in the time, it's where it all started. It wasn't Adam that sinned, but it was the woman. It was Eve. So Eve, you got a lot of blood on your hands too.
Got a precept for you. Genesis 3:16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply your sorrow and your conception, and sorrow you shall bring forth children, and your desire shall be to your husband, and he shall rule over you.
That birth pain go back to a reminder of your disobedience.
Right.
Okay, because you go in that Genesis 3:16, you know, first, you know, he addressed Adam, you know, then Adam put it on the woman, then he came to the woman, then he came to the serpent, man.
Yeah.
So those are the three parties, okay, that played a part in this downfall.
And guess how judgment went? Judgment went from on the serpent first,
Yep.
then trickled down to Eve,
Yep.
and then Adam, and that exactly.
Yep.
I got a clue. This is the Rock 36:24.
Yep.
He that did a wife beginning a possession,
Yep.
a help like unto himself,
Yep.
and a pillow of rest.
And you a woman that hear that word possession and stands out,
Right.
you know. But wait a minute, don't you put on Walmart shirt?
Right.
That goes back to the Walton family.
Right.
So you're a possession of the Walton family.
Right.
You go to work. Okay, you put that Texaco shirt on. Okay, you somebody's possession. Because you look, they own you from 6 to 4.
That's right.
You can't go nowhere from 6 to 4.
Right.
And if you do, you gotta add permission.
And you gladly oblige.
Yeah.
Right? Or let's take it. Give me a last name. So if I like Mr. Jackson's daughter, right, and if I want to marry her, her last name becomes what? My last name.
Right.
If my last name is Jenkins, her last name is Jackson. Once we unite, you know, through the union of marriage, then basically she loses her father's last name, and then she becomes what? My possession. So she has my last name.
Yeah.
So you're a possession.
Yeah.
Your last name indicates that you are a possession.
Basically, like, take her hand or something.
Yeah.
That's it.
And if she have any land, you know what I'm saying, or any kind of asset, those assets gonna become that man. You know what I'm saying? Because that mailbox ain't gonna no longer have Jackson on it, or you know what I'm saying, whoever her husband is, it's gonna have his name on it, man. You know, and your name is not gonna be no longer Miss whatever. It's gonna be Mr. whoever, man. And you know what's crazy, man? Back in like the 70s and 80s, you know what I'm saying? When you had like, you look in them old yearbooks, say it's a Coach Jackson, for instance, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Wilson Jackson, right?
Mhm.
You know what his wife is? She a teacher, and you know her name is in there? Mrs. Wilson Jackson. Didn't even have the women name in that motherfucker. They put the husband name on this distinguished by Mr. by Mrs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, because what? That was his possession. That was why she's important, but you know, the name of her husband is more important. That's where she's gonna get her recognition from.
Well, that's the balance. That's that, and it's for order's sake. And guess what? The Lord made it for men to be equipped to deal with more responsibility.
Right.
You know, and then being a possession, because if you have a possession, what do you got to do? You got to maintenance it.
That's right. Maintain
You
that.
know, so if you got a possession, that don't mean you just got you something to dog out. No, you got something you got to maintain.
Right. Right.
You know, that's why even in the scriptures, if you rape the woman, guess what? You got to provide for her. You got to clothe her. You got to feed her and protect her.
Yeah. Take care of her
Yeah,
father.
so that's yours now.
Yep.
Now this your possession to maintenance.
Yeah.
You know, so the Lord got a perfect balance between the man and the woman. The serpent threw the bullshit in the game, and majority of our women in this time, they still running with that shit, man.
Right.
You know, and it's become a poison. You know, you can say something.
I want to say yeah because it's so devastating because the scripture says the house divided cannot stand, but it's like it's all it's you have this order that's continued or cause anger. You know.
Yep.
Let me get this. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 25 verse 22. A woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, imputed, and much reproach. And they have the woman has she in this leadership role, and it's causing her to what? Always be angry, be bitter.
Yeah.
She's out of order. So what? That's gonna cause that cycle of anger, that cycle of hatred. And she's gonna blame the black man. That's so-called.
And see, the women that's in that position, they're trying to take care of these sorry niggas. But guess what? That sorry nigga came from another single mother household. Yeah. All right. But like I said, just like you complain about this sorry nigga you gotta take care of. Somebody across town complaining about this sorry ass son that you put out there that they gotta take care of. That's why I would say that shit toxic. It's a poison. It's a poison. Y'all raising these sorry motherfuckers and put them in orbit. To put the turn these niggas loose in the side. Yeah. You know?
If you,
Yeah.
go ahead. I'm talking about cause Dion and her daughter, what's her name? The oldest one. Well, and this is crazy shit. And they got she got baby by some what's the guy name? I don't know his name.
Jacquees.
And she basically tell him that he can't get her baby son can't. I think his son or daughter. Whatever. He got to have the center name instead of her father's name, the boy's father's name. Like, that's awful. I'm talking about, no, my son gonna have the center's name. I was told that bitch tell you something. That's my damn son. But straight, but how they run shit. And then he probably gonna lay down like a bitch he is.
Yeah.
Then fuck that.
Yeah.
That's why you have to be extremely careful who you procreate with, man.
Yeah.
Very careful, man. All right, this is I got two for you, guys. Exodus 21:10. If he takes him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish.
Yeah, and that's saying that if a man took on another wife, all right, his first wife, he's not supposed to diminish in intimacy.
Right.
Okay. He's not to take away from her lifestyle.
That's right.
So if you can't duplicate their lifestyle that you got for your first wife, for your second wife, that's an indicator you don't need a second wife.
That's right, bro.
Now in this society, where the men and the women have to work, you might have something worked out, where the woman she's not as needy, what she kind of maintain herself. You got certain situations, but going into this, man, dealing with even with multiple women, okay, and those women, there's a certain lifestyle that has to be maintained, with those women. And the Bible was fair, man.
That's right.
It's fair for men and women.
That's right, bro.
Okay.
Well,
One more, bro.
right.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, this is Genesis 28 verse 1. And Isaac called Jacob and blessed him and charged or command him and said unto him, you shall not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan.
Yep. Hey, because of the stock that those Canaanites, because the Canaanites after the flood, those were the people that got into Satanism. And you go to the Canaanites, them is Sodom and Gomorrah, them were Canaanites. Okay, like they was on some real left hand shit after the flood. Like they want to jump their Satanism back off in the earth. That's what Esau got, because Esau married Canaanite.
Asshole.
Yeah,
How do you do it though?
He begging.
Right.
He get out this fight.
Right.
Too.
But then also, just to add on, he wanted what?
yeah,
That color back.
Yeah.
He understood reincarnation.
Yeah.
He said, well, goddamn, if I marry this black girl,
I'm gonna get this.
3 to 4 generations later,
I'll be straight.
I'll be back.
I feel like I'm in there. Man, thank you. But you know, that's just show how, like I show how he's so damn disrespectful, and he hard head. Fuck you, Dad. I'm gonna do what the hell I want to do.
Yeah. And the point is that the priest always goes into it how your father will go to her father and make the agreement.
Yep.
The man and woman had nothing to do with it because it was a business arrangement.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with emotions. Go ahead. Oh, real
Love and all that old tender shit.
It's gonna prove your point. Proverbs 13 and 23. Because it's a mindset behind marriage. Like you saying, it's a business 1st.
And this is Proverbs 13 and 22. A good man leave an inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just.
Good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children.
Grandchildren, right?
So the two men coming together discussing the marriage of their sons and daughters, they're already thinking about the next generation. You see,
Right.
this is what the serpent, you think Esau give you the right now.
Yeah.
You know, he give you these little perks for right now.
Yeah.
You can come work for me, get your own apartment, get your own, come, what's that, Sex in the City lifestyle, you know, cruises and, all these different shit. But no one didn't think about the generation after, or the generation after. And you can tell this generation, there was no planning for what they call Gen Z.
Yeah.
There was absolutely no planning for this generation. You know,
Shit.
you really, when you look at this society, all people have been doing is what, just fucking and eating.
That's it. And getting high.
Yeah.
And drunk.
This how this society. Ain't nobody planning for. Here it is. You got men getting women pregnant with no car.
Right.
Real talk. I'm just saying, you gotta think about it. Ain't nobody planning for this shit.
Real talk.
She stay with her mama still.
Right.
You stay with your auntie. You ain't got no car. She don't work, but y'all having children. And that scripture says a wise man leaves an inheritance for his son's son. Long term, like the man, especially a man that will be older. All right. That's why he said don't deal with them Canaanites. That's right. He was thinking long term, and right now, this how you gotta deal with the nigga woman. You gotta treat most of them like Canaanites, right? Because they was in the Satanism. What's nigga culture? Satanism. That's it. They Canaanites. That's it. You know? Yeah, they definitely. You had something?
Yeah, just a further point, but
Yeah.
it is.
They get that. Then we're gonna get that definition.
Okay.
Then we're gonna close out.
Which one? Get my point?
Yeah. Get your
Hey, this is just a further point going into Samson. So it states Judges 14:1, and Samson went down to Timnath and saw a woman in Timnath of the daughters of the Philistines. And he came up and told his father and his mother and said, I have seen a woman in Timnath of the daughters of the Philistines. Now therefore get her for me to wife. Then his father and his mother said unto him, is there never a woman among the daughters of your brethren or among all my people that you go to take a wife of the uncircumcised Philistines? And Samson said unto his father, get her for me, for she pleased me well. But the point is, we understand via the spirit that the Most High was using Samson and Delilah's union to bring judgment on the Philistines. But the point is that Samson's father was like, look, you need to marry a woman from within our nation. Right? But it was more spiritual for Samson, and that's the reason why he had a union with Delilah.
We got bro. Get that apprenticeship on what's out with it.
This is the definition in the Google for apprenticeship. It say a position as an apprentice, an arrangement in which someone learns an art, trade, or job under another. He obtained an apprenticeship with a carpenter. Later that year, he decided to become a barrist, a career that requires apprentice into apprenticeship.
Yeah, so even when you look into when Jacob was sent out to Laban, it was like an apprenticeship.
Right.
You know, he pretty much learned, you know, livestock. You know, how to breed sheep.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, that's how he became wealthy, man. And this is why we're under apprenticeship now with Yahweh by Shem outside. We're under apprenticeship through Yahweh shop, you know. And we go to Sirach 30 and 1 because you gotta think about it. You look back, especially in the country, man. You know, even though, all right, the father might die, man, he'll have 2, 3 sons. It's like he ain't left. His mama still being provided for because they, you know what I'm saying? The land still being taken care of, like he ain't left. You know what I'm saying?
Generational wealth.
Yeah, because the true generational wealth starts with wisdom.
Right.
You know, you got it, bro.
All right, a little more piece on it, and that'll be it.
Yeah.
And it says, what do the apprentice do? Apprentices learn about skills and trade by working closely with a mentor.
Woo! Yeah. And see, that's what's supposed to. And see, Esau broke their dynamic when he brought that feminism and he incentivized not having a man in the household. And then the only apprenticeship that Jay had, what? Is these street niggas.
Right.
They always looking to take you in to get you into that dumb shit. You know, but nah, man, you learn real trade and skills and craft from our fathers, man.
So when you love from under that apprenticeship, what happens, man? You was well off.
Yeah.
You was well off. Now you can fend for yourself and your wife and her maids and things of that nature, bro. So that was a dynamic within our culture going back to the ancient time.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, bro. In Ecclesiastes chapter 30, verse 1, he that loves his son causes him to also fulfill the rod, that he may have joy in him in the end. Yeah, see, the man is thinking long term, like we just said. The man is thinking the end game. The woman, like you say, in her nature, she's a nurturer. So her thing is to try to bring instant comfort to the situation. The man know when to know. Let him stay there for a while. Let him be in that furnace for a minute. Yeah. He need to work his way out of it. Okay. The woman immediate reaction is to come and bring immediate comfort to the situation. You know, but the man is molding something. That's why it's time to nurture, but then it's a time of molding and affliction, man. And that's the balance of it. Go ahead. He that testeth his son shall have joy in him and shall rejoice of him among his acquaintance. Yep. Okay. He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him. Yep. So whoever teaches his son grieveth the enemy, all right. And this is what Esau broke. He broke that cycle of Israelite men teaching their sons, okay, because it was a grievance to him. That's why he blew up Black Wall Street. Like, you can't teach like this, you know. He had to put a lot of the fake towns underwater. You know, there was a grievance. Like, look, they how they coming up for nothing? But they were passing down wisdom. They were passing down skills, family structure. Go ahead. Though his father died, yet he is as though he were not dead. Yep. For he have left one behind him that is like himself. Yeah, and see, when the Esau broke, you know, that dynamic, man, it's just he was able to take hold. Esau was able to raise this society that we see now. Because the woman was he taught the woman to worship herself. Okay. And he gave her so many distractions to where he was able to mold this society into what he wants, man.
And then within that dynamic, you had us men being emotional, no confidence, and lack of self-worth.
So with that, you know, we pray that you brothers, all right, and you sisters edified, all right. First and foremost, we're going to pray to you, give all praises to double honor to the apostles and the elders of GMS who will teach, who will be an example to his own brother, and peace and blessings, salutations to the whole people. Shalom.
Well, it's the hardest. This is the hardest.
Yeah, I've been